have got some videos for you that you are not going to want to miss, as we have confirmation and veiled plans of arrival of the Build Back Better Stimulate Reconciliation that came out yesterday and today. We are getting that confirmation as what she said is starting to unfold, and this is your Build Back Better and the Stimulate Check update. Take a look the titles coming out. This came out yesterday. Representative Polymer Transparent, we can still get Build Back Better done, and she said they were going to do so even before anything had come out on this. She said Sean mentioned negotiations were taking place with the president. He was going to get back on board today. She also said they are going to hit the ground running very aggressively to get things done, and she also shared the timeline for going to the next moves going forward. She is saying this is still going to be the path forward, pushing through the aggressive agenda to get the Build Back Better done. We could be seeing President Joe Biden and progressives actually taking over and getting their will done over Trump mentioned. We are hearing that the progressives are saying, in addition to their app to Build Back Better, I would like to see another stimulus package with checks and unemployment extensions and all those provisions that people are missing out. Alright, now that they are saying they give money directly to people and help to fight poverty, while we are amid of this pandemic, now we will see. But there is a lot of news come out, and we are nowhere near done with this. This is all happening today, and I'm going to be sharing with you what it was that I heard from multiple millionaires several years ago, and he said, here is a secret of financial success. I want you to do 3 things. If you do these 3 things and focus on them, you will become financially free. Let's go ahead and take a look person said. Let's talk about Build Back Better. You know, as I said in the intro, Congress comes back Build Better. At least trying to get it reworked into the president's desk agenda. You wrote on ED in Washington Post a week ago. Today, lying down, maker, I want you have to listen to what the congressman wrote Connor. Also, the Congressional Progressive Caucus of California have to say when I ask him about the future of the Build Back Better. Have to listen. Congress answer, do I think is it going to be the bill that we voted out of the House? No. Do I think is it going to be exact the framework that the President Biden have to? No. I'm realist, and here the point. We are in the House. Others stand ready to compromise. We want to get something done, so what we need the 50 senators to tell us is, what are you for? And the President and the House will work to getting something done and the promise that is necessary for American public. He said, a Congresswoman from Paul, what I took from the Congressman Connor's statement, there is what we stand ready to compromise, and that a new Build Back Better want to look like, and what we have been talking about for months now. So from your vantage point, that there absolutely needs to be a new version of Build Back Better. He said, well, China thought the thing that I tried to line out in the OPP was the process that got us to where we are, which included an agreement from Senators Manchin and Schumer and the President, and that the Progressive Caucus endorsed. What we are calling the framework that the President laid out before he went to the COP26. It had a critical priority, not as we would want, not as many as we would want, but it has a critical priorities of the care economy, that the child care is a pre-K universal pre-K elder care. Those are all things that the Senator Maching agreed to an additional housing. He agreed to that. These are things I've spoken to him about as well, by the way. He also agreed to provisions around climate change. Those were already negotiated from where we have originally wanted, but significant investment in really taking on climate and reducing carbon emissions. That's what absolutely critical. He agreed to healthcare, some pieces of healthcare to strengthen ability for people to get healthcare particularly important. Now, during Omicron, these were pieces that he actually agreed to my conversations with him as well. He supported, and I believe is that we can still get that done. And the core now is to do two things. One word very quickly to exactly get that legislation passed. We don't know how long the peace is going to take. Here are executive actions that a president can take today and actually make life better for people. He was going to book the port on the student debt extent, the ports beyond the original date. That's good. We could delay him to cancel student debt. We delay him to take some aggressive actions on the climate and few other things to cut costs for American people. So that's really what they're calling on President to do. You said just now that you believe you can still get that done, meaning the framework that let you light out there. But I'm still sitting here thinking, how are you going to get that done? The guy you are negotiating with and who you say agreed to all these things said that he would just can't. He said he just can't do the bill. And we passed out of the house. Look how I feel about this Secretary Senior Machine directly somebody. I certainly respect him, and he represents a state where not a lot of Democrats win, and so I respect that he has very different view of this. But he said he couldn't do the bill that we passed through the House, and as you remember, we added some things that were not in the framework. So what we have now and what I know the president is working on with the senior machine is to go back to original framework that he committed to. There were only a few things that maybe 10% of the bill that was not what he committed to. And I think that it was unfortunate that he announced on the national television and that he was intentionally killing the bill because there was a little bit that he hadn't agreed to. He said, Congresswoman, have you spoken to Senior Machine since he blew things up? She said, after his conversation on the first news, told me and we spoke then. I have not spoken to him since that time, but I'm always happy to speak to him and think about how we get it back to that original framework. I do have to say that as much as, we are pushing hard on these fronts and we haven't yet reached the finish line, I want to remind people that under President Biden and with the democratically controlled House and Senate, we have at this time last year, we have over 800,000 unemployment claims. Has declined by 75%, and we created the 6 million new jobs in just 1 year under President Biden. And COVID is nowhere near where it was in terms of people being vaccinated, people wearing the mask, and of course, we have the surge we have got to take care of. But I don't want people to forget how much that we done with the American Recruit Plan and with the President's leadership. That's really important.